It is Sunday, March 8th, and on this week's edition of Sunday Sofatime, we're going to talk about dining on the Carnival Sunrise. I'm Morgan from the very unofficial travel guides. Welcome back here in front of the red sofa. You know what this video is going to be about, and I can only say it again, and I've said it so many times, I'm sure, and I know some of you are sick of seeing videos of the Carnival Sunrise because I read all the comments, but we were so surprised and very impressed by almost all the food on this ship. I know, right? I don't know if we just got really lucky, or if a lot of the reviews and the people that I had talked to who had written poor things about Carnival and the service and the food and things like that, if they were just, I don't know, haters or had way too high expectations. I can only say we really enjoyed the food, and shocker, we had a great meal in the main dining room. What? Yes, you guys know we almost never go to the main dining room. There are a lot of things about that kind of dining experience that we do not prefer. We would much rather go to the buffet where we, can go at our own pace and try several different things and don't have to decide for one or two plates. We just like the options and the relaxation of being in the buffet. But because I know that so many of you guys are curious about it, I convinced Marcus that we should go to the main dining room one time on our cruise on the Sunrise, and this is what I'm gonna show you now. On the Sunrise, there are actually two main dining rooms. So you know what? I better explain this. For those of you who are not cruise savvy, the main dining room on a cruise ship is like the main restaurant area, like the main, room for dining in the evening. If you watch the Love Boat or Titanic and stuff like that, it's like the big ballroom, with a grand staircase and stuff like that. That's the main dining room. It's included in the price of your cruise, and traditionally that's where everybody went to eat for dinner. And the concepts of cruises have been changing over a while, but that's the way it used to be. And almost all ships still have some kind of main dining room experience, even though it's morphed into something else on a lot of cruise lines. So on the Sunrise, they have two main dining rooms, and one of them is for people who have the set dining time of, early or late. It's probably, 6:30 or 8 or something like that, I don't know. And we had the my time dining, where we could just go whenever we like and get a table and have some dinner. And I think that's a great trend. I'm really happy that more cruise lines are doing this. I think that's one way to make it a little bit more comfortable for the people who don't prefer that type of dining experience on board. One weird thing about it on the Sunrise is you have to check in midship on deck 5, and then you get a paper ticket printed out, and the actual dining room where the My Time dining is at the back of the ship on deck 4. Yeah, kind of weird. But hey, it's not like we were in a hurry. So we went to deck 5 by the sushi restaurant to check in, got this little piece of paper, walked all the way to the back of the ship, walked down a flight of stairs, walked back through a few more stairs, and that is where our dining room was. And we were lucky enough to get seated at a table for two, which is, one of the things that if we have to go to the main dining room, I mean have to, it's a chore. Sorry, I don't mean it like that. If we do go to the main dining room, then we definitely prefer to be at a table for two, or just seated with people that we know or are cruising with. We do not prefer the great big tables where 10 people are all sitting together, 10 or more, and the small talk and getting to know each other and talking about politics and all the things that you end up talking about at those tables. Not our cup of tea. But so anyways, we got sat at a table for two, and one cool thing about first impressions of the table was that we got a pitcher of ice water on the table, and they gave us a basket of warm rolls, or warm bread and butter, and left it on the table. And that might not seem like a big deal, but when I compare that to other main dining room experiences that we've had, and other the things about those experiences that that kind of annoy us. And I made a whole video about it, by the way, about why I don't like to eat in the MDRs, and I'll link that in the description below, or you can search for it in the library. It's called, yeah, I'm pretty sure it's called Why I Don't Like to Eat in Cruise Ship MDRs. But so the thing is I don't like how sometimes the serving staff is so involved in your evening, and they come back like 20 times while you're trying to just have dinner and talk about things, and they're constantly interrupting you to ask if you want more water or more bread, or to make recommendations, or ask what you did that day, ask where you're going tomorrow. It wasn't like that on Carnival, and that was nice because they left a pitcher of water on the table so we could refill our own water glasses, and they left the bread there. And like I said, if you're not used to cruising on other lines, they'll come back to somebody will come back to your table like every 2 minutes and ask, would you like some more bread? And try to recommend something from in the basket. And it's just, I don't need that. Take a look at the menu here. First impressions of the waitstaff, they seemed kind of cold to us, and I don't know if it was because they felt like they really wanted to leave us alone. They seemed kind of like distant and cold at the beginning, strangely enough, until we ordered glasses of wine. So I don't know if they were worried that we were like only gonna just have the ice water and not order anything, and then they get less tip because of that. But yeah, we both ordered a glass of wine, and then they were like overly interested in the wine that we ordered because they said that was their favorite too. And I wrote down which one it was. It was J. Lohr Cabernet Sauvignon, so Lohr, Lohr, and it was really good. And I'm glad that I wrote it down, and I'm making this video now because when we were drinking it then, I wanted to remind myself to try to find a bottle of it when we're home, so now I remember. Thanks, Morgan from the past. The wine prices were okay, they're average, but they did have some glasses of wine for under $9, which is, those are almost like normal land prices, so that's kind of cool. I would say the selections on the menu are average for what we're used to seeing at like Royal Caribbean or Norwegian cruise lines. Well, you know what, let me start with let's start at the beginning. We both ordered the roasted broccoli and 3 cheese soup because, anything with 3 cheeses is going on my plate. I was assuming it was going to be green, but it wasn't. It looked more like potato soup, but it was so good. I mean, 3 cheeses, how can you go wrong with that? But it was really good, and even though it was, like a small cup of soup, it was actually really filling. So got off to a great start with that 3 cheese and broccoli soup. So moving on to the main course, Marcus had the grilled beef tenderloin with polenta in a red wine sauce, and I had the grilled tofu steak with stir-fried veggies. And you guys know I don't eat meat. I can't tell you anything about how this was cooked or how it tasted or anything other than what Marcus said. And he said that it was done very, very well. And let me tell you something, Marcus is picky about that kind of stuff. He mentioned that he's ordered or gotten plates very similar to this on other cruise lines, and that this was the best he's ever had it been done on a cruise. He also mentioned that when we got it on the MSC Meraviglia, a very similar plate, he said that was like the worst. Just saying. And I had what was called a tofu steak, which was, like a block of tofu that had been grilled. And it was with, it was kind of marinated, and it had stir-fry veggies. And, it kind of sounds very simple, but I have to tell you, it was very tasty, and it was prepared very well. It was like, I know it doesn't look good here because of the light and because of the colors, but it was really good. And here's something that is going to shock you. A couple days later, I had basically the same dish on the Disney Dream in the main dining room, and it was better on the Sunrise. I know, right? Who would have thought that? I don't get it. I don't understand why. If this is what the food on Carnival is like, I honestly don't understand why so many people complain about it, because it was good. For dessert, we had what was it called again? Carnival melting chocolate or melting chocolate cake. One interesting thing that I also noticed was the menu included all the appetizers, all the main courses, and dessert all in one menu. And I feel like usually after you've had all your main courses, they'll bring you a separate menu with the desserts, but the desserts were also on the main menu. Oh, and now that I think of it, and I know you guys have seen the menu already, but they also had like a specialty menu with like local favorites, or what was it called again? Port of call. So like things that were specific to where we just were, and in that case it was Nassau, I think Stacy, Skylar, Tessa would have been disappointed with the real Bahamian food. They had things like, I know you guys saw that, but the conch fritters and the Caribbean pepper steak. Anyways, back to dessert. But before we move on to dessert, let me put a little commercial break in your life right here. Did you get one? Write what it was about in the comments below. We both had the Carnival melting chocolate or melting chocolate cake, but and it was good. It was very chocolatey, but if I had one like suggestion on how to improve it, I would have said they should have baked it a little bit longer, because it was basically like a chocolate lava cake. And I think a good chocolate lava cake has to be almost like crunchy on the very outer rim. And then there needs to be a couple like millimeters of like real baked cake before the inside of it is like ooey and gooey. Here's me getting picky about chocolate cake. But yeah, this was just like, it was basically just like warm pudding, basically. It should have been, I feel like it should have been baked a little bit longer, but that's not something I'm complaining about, because it still tasted very good. And like I said, all together, we just had a really good experience. The service was good. I didn't feel like they were too annoyingly present in our dining experience. The food was prepared very well. There was an interesting vegetarian option. And altogether, I did not regret going there at all. And we did not go to the buffet afterwards to fill our stomachs. So what more can I say? Does this surprise you guys? I know, because I know a lot of you are not fans of Carnival. You either have never tried Carnival, but just because of the reviews, and I mean, a lot of these are reviews that I've read as well. The reviews, a lot of them say that the food is not good on Carnival, but I had a totally different experience, except for room service, which you guys saw last week. Totally different experience. Really enjoyed it. And now I'm so curious to cruise with Carnival again sometime soon, to see if it was just the Sunrise or just that cruise, or if like they've just stepped up their game and they're doing a good job with it across the whole fleet. Could be. And now comes a time on Sunday Sofatime where I comment on your comments live on air. Let me try that again. Last week's Sunday Sofatime was not a traditional Sunday Sofatime here in front of the sofa. I actually posted my longer video of my room service experience on the Carnival Sunrise, the only experience that was very less than average good on the ship, and these comments are relating to that video. If you want to check it out, you know where it is. First comment is from somebody called Mr. Pickle-DD. Mr. Pickle-DD writes, please, if you are vegetarian, please don't waste our time with a food review. First of all, it was not a food review. It was just me ordering room service. And second of all, I guess I'm sorry. I shouldn't have forced you to watch all that video where there was no meat involved. I feel really, really awful about it. Wait, no, I don't. Next comment is from El Matrice D, or I Matrice D. They write, love all your videos, cruise, mukbang, and room reviews. However, stop apologizing for being vegetarian. They should apologize for not having decent dietary options available. Having said that, though, I can't imagine that pre-made quesadilla would taste much better than the grilled cheese with or without chicken. I have plans to cruise on the Carnival Horizon in 2021. Looking forward to Guys in Blue Iguana. Keep the videos coming. Now that's the kind of comment I like to read. And final comment from Rachel the Wren. Rachel writes, I like to add garlic salt to the butter when I grill my grilled cheese. It adds extra flavor. It's great on sourdough. I use mozzarella cheese and Colby Jack cheese on mine though, too. I may have to go make some. Getting hungry just thinking of it, LOL. Oh, you know what, Rachel the Wren, and I wrote to you already. That sounds fantastic. That is the kind of grilled cheese that I would make a video about. That's it for Sunday Sofatime this week. Be sure to stay tuned and check my Facebook page for the very unofficial travel guides this week, because I have kind of an interesting, for me, exciting announcement coming up. Just something that I've never done before that I'm gonna try out, and I'm gonna post about it on Facebook, so make sure you check there this week for that update. And I'll see you here next week. Bye-bye.